Hello and welcome back to my channel, Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for the Virgo full moon that is taking place on the 18th of March, obviously. So this is the second part of the reading that I'm doing. The first part I've already put out as the astrology part. This is the second part of the 2 weekly readings that I do for the new and the full moon, which is what I've been kind of concentrating my attention on at this time. I have behind me the cards for this Virgo full moon. We have the card of Virgo itself, which is all about analysing, scrutinising, details, facts, figures, orderliness, that kind of thing. It's ruled by Mercury. Virgo is a Mercury ruled sign. It's also ruled by Chiron as well, but it's very much that quick-minded side of Virgo, the constant like on the go, with the mind constantly chattering away in the background. And then we have the 6th house, which is the house that is ruled by Virgo and Mercury, and the 6th house is all about routine, orderliness, keeping things, what's the word I'm looking for? Keeping things, like, brain has just gone completely blank there. Like filing systems and things like that, like keeping things in order in systems, that kind of thing. Alphabetical order, knowing where things are. The earth element is the Virgo element. It is an earth energy. And lastly, we have the Grand Cross energy at the end there, and the Grand Cross is the figure in the sky that we've just had at the time of this full moon in Virgo, with the moon opposing the sun, and at the same time it was square to Black Moon Lilith, and it was also square to the galactic center in Sagittarius. So if you're interested in any of that, you can look that up on the astrology reading that I put out earlier as well. Just a quick insight into what this Virgo full moon energy is all about. So the reading is going to be for the next 2 weeks as well. It's the reading that will cover the full 2 weeks up until we have the new moon that will be taking place in Aries, as the sun is also about to cross over into Aries on the 20th. Of course, we have the spring equinox at that time as well. So it's a complete cycle for the sun. The sun will be renewing itself and starting all over again. So it is a birth of the new sun in many ways. The sun is coming back round to well, it will have completed that cycle. And the full moon energy itself is also about culmination and ending things, and getting ready to kind of move into more of a time of releasing and letting go of what we've been working on or thinking about, or a situation that we need to let go in our lives, that kind of thing. So as I was saying, over the next 2 weeks, this is the energy for the collective, for the cards here. And the first card that I'm going to read is from the Angel Script card. I will also be putting all the cards in the description box down below, as well as a free link to a natal chart if you're interested in that as well. So if you check out the description down below, you will be able to find out where all these cards, what all these cards are, and where to find your natal birth chart. So we have this beautiful card of Michael here, which is very yellow, very sun-like, very fiery. It kind of reminds me of the sun that is just about to cross over into the new, crossing over the axis Mundi, the 0.00 point of Aries. So that is a cardinal energy that it's moving into. Very active, very dynamic energy. And I'll just read quickly from here, and it says, Michael is commander-in-chief and rules gloriously from a seat ordained directly by heaven. Sunshine is the beauty by which all things are brought to perfection and fullness. In this light there are no questions, since the task is simply one of correct and unswerving obedience to the directions of the divine. This archangel provides the stable pivot around which the others move. It is a monarch among princes, an emperor among kings. Michael's rulership permits certainty and power. All tasks will be completed without effort or anxiety. The potency here is immeasurable and allows for growth and joy. When Michael takes up the crown prescribed by heaven, then all things fall into place. It gives directions to the lowly and raises up the poor in spirit. This light enters into all dark places, enlightening the recesses of the heart. Michael is also about truth as well. When there is no ruler in a land, there is no guide. All things fall into chaos and uncertainty, and we're definitely experiencing a lot of chaos and uncertainty at this time. And the people run to and fro with no sense of direction. Unless the energy of these uncoordinated activities is centralised, nothing will be achieved, and the purpose of the people will not be realised. A good sovereign rules the people firmly and gently. It does not intimidate, but acts as a facilitator, so that they may become whole. In this way, the ruler becomes a servant, acting in the interest of the community. The throne is still centre about which the people can move, knowing that their efforts will be coordinated for the greatest good. Like sunshine, Michael warms the empty, cold places and encourages the timid. With this archangel by your side, there is no fear. It carries a crown of light and a sword of certainty. So Michael has the sword of truth. He cuts through the BS and gets straight to the point. He makes people aware of what the truth is, cutting away all the extraneous nonsense that surrounds things. So for me, this is also a card of clarity, of seeing things clearly. And also, as we move into this spring equinox, we are going to experience a lot of change coming in. The energies are going to change as the sun comes out of Pisces, watery, subconscious, kind of hidden depths and kind of mysterious, unknowing energy, and moves into Aries, which is much more that fiery, dynamic, knowing energy, which is much better suited for the sun. The sun is really like it's at the last degrees, it's coming up for the last degrees of Pisces, so it's been a long journey for the sun, and Pisces being the 12th house, it's really tiring and exhausting. So it's like renewing our, as the spring comes in, we feel alive, we feel like, you know, things are rejuvenated, we're regenerated, we feel alive again with that sun coming back into our lives. So that's what I'm feeling from that card there, is that we're going to get a lot more of that energy, and as we do so, we'll also get a lot more insights and clarity, because we've also had Mercury in Pisces. But again, if you want to find out more about that, then it's all in my astrology reading. So the first actual card that we're starting off with tarot-wise is the Nine of Wands in reverse. And this is a long, hard journey. The Nine of Wands is often seen as a spiritual warrior card. It's the card of like exhaustion, really feeling it, really having kind of put ourselves through it or been put through it. And it's in reverse as well, so that kind of magnifies that energy for me. It kind of makes it real, more realistic, more kind of like we're all feeling like we've got to the end. It's like something has to change, something has to move here. And this feels like that sun energy again, that kind of like we're all exhausted, we're all kind of like pushing through, but it's tiring, it's hard work, we want something different. But we do have over the top of it the Four of Cups, and this is talking about a sense of disappointment, really. The Four of Cups, it's disappointment. It's like all of these cups down here, if you can see these 3 cups stacked up here, and then this one is kind of appearing out of the blue, out of nowhere. But there's a sense of like, you know, I've tried that before, I've trusted this before, I've accepted this, whether this is to do with a relationship, love relationships, or because Venus and Mars are doing a lot at the moment together as well, dancing through the sky. So there is this kind of awareness of like something, it feels like, again, something new coming in, but we're not really sure what it is. We're not really sure if we should accept it. We're not really sure if it's the right thing. If it's going to be the thing that's going to make the difference. It's like we are wanting something to uplift us, something to give us a reason, a purpose, to keep going, to get to the end. But the Four of Cups, like I was saying, it can be disappointment, it can be like looking for satisfaction in people, places and things, rather than looking for satisfaction within ourselves. So it can be like looking outwardly rather than inwardly for what it is, our value as well is what's coming through here. Valuing ourselves enough to maybe to not give up, to keep on pushing through, because the Nine of Wands is saying, you know, don't stop now. Don't stop now. You've come so far. Don't stop now. Don't let yourself be deceived, or don't let yourself be, because this is watery energy as well. Water, it relates to the Pisces energy, Scorpio energy, Cancerian energy. But I'm feeling it more as the sun in Pisces. So it could also be to do with things being revealed here as well, because it is kind of just appearing out of nowhere. So let's see what else we have going on at this time. In our heads and what we're aware of, we have the Ace of Coins. So this is that new energy. Again, it feels like this eruption, something erupting out of the ground here. He's like carrying this huge coin, this new energy, this new beginning. Coins are to do with our material, our possessions, that energy that I was talking about previously. Our possessions, what we own, money in general, finances, and there is a lot of change happening in the world of finances at this moment in time as well, and it's going to continue. And because it's an ace, it's also saying that this is an energy that needs channeled somewhere. This is something that you need to be aware of, or we are becoming more aware of it. That things are shifting, things are changing, there is growth, but it's new growth. It's growth in a different direction, or a different understanding of how we've dealt with money in the past, and our value, our self-value system. And moving away from us, our past energy, the Queen of Cups. I will just say quickly that this is the Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo energy as well, and also Capricorn energy. Stability, finding stability, needing stability, looking for stability. It's like building a new foundation as well is what's coming through here. Building something stable that is going to last. So let's see what else we get with that as we go through. The Queen of Cups in reverse. Well, the Queen of Cups is all about love, all about forgiveness, kindness, generosity of spirit, caring, compassionate, considerate, again, water energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer energy. But it is in reverse, and she's clutching this cup, and it's kind of, for me, it's kind of similar. There's like a connection with this energy and this cup that she's holding. And I get this feeling with this energy, this moving away energy, of kind of like a sense of mistrust. Is what I'm getting from this Queen of Cups today. Mistrusting. And there is this, there's a very Piscean kind of flavour to this card as well for some reason. A Piscean feel about this, to do with possible deception, possible lies, possible kind of putting our trust into something that didn't turn out to be the right thing. Because if you look at her face, to me she does look like she's certainly not happy. And there's something kind of there's a alluring look about her, but at the same time she kind of comes across as somebody, especially when she's upside down, like you wouldn't it feels that you wouldn't want to spend too much time in her company. Because it's like am I getting like scorned, or what's the word? Kind of almost like vindictive in a way, a vindictive energy here. Revengeful. I just get the overall feeling of something that's not to be trusted. And then we have the Page of Wands here as well, and I get a similar feeling with this card. This is in our subconscious energy. It's a page, so it's a young energy. It's an energy that has yet to mature and yet to grow and understand itself. It's a fire energy, so it relates to Aries energy, Leo energy, and Sagittarius energy. So this could also be this sun moving into the fire sign of Aries, which is the first fire sign. So it is like the early learning stages of something. It is also creativity. But there's something quite I mean, the colour of it as well, there's almost something quite dangerous about it in a way. The red's coming through really, really strongly, and also it's kind of relating to that root chakra energy, that very kind of base energy, fire, passion, which can also very easily turn into anger, frustration, immaturity. There's like an immature energy here, something that is yet to... I feel like because it's in the subconscious as well, it's not an energy that's aware or known of as such in the subconscious at this time, in the collective. It's almost like a volcanic kind of energy that's kind of sitting there, kind of brewing, shall we say, something that's kind of brewing, waiting. There's also a kind of naivety with the pages as well. So the future energy that we have here is the Six of Coins. Again, earth energy. This is compromise, this is balance. But it can also be an energy of it's interesting as well because it's got this the same energy. It's the same energy here. It kind of looks like this very lit up coin that he's got there on his scales. But he's offering something here. He's got his hand held out and he's offering this, which is the Libra sign of balance, of the scales. And it's very kind of, that energy in itself is very kind of, how can I put it? It's like, you know, expecting something as well. There's an expectation with this card somehow. It's like, you know, if I do this for you, you then have to return that favour for me. Compromise. Tipping the balance, tipping the scales somehow. But again, it doesn't feel as though it's... How can I put it? Like, that it's even though it's upright, it doesn't feel as though it's compromise that's easily achieved. That it's going to be easily accepted. I do feel, because we've then got the King of Coins here as well, so there's a lot of physical reality energy here, a lot of material reality, ownership, possessions, but it all goes back to earth energy as well. It all goes back to the recognition on some level that all of it comes from the earth, which is why he's kind of bursting out of the earth like this huge giant carrying this kind of treasure. The very physicality of the earth itself. It's like there's a lesson here to learn. Almost like with this, that it doesn't come out of thin air. Like with this one here, it's almost like it's hidden, almost like you know, it's a physical form. Money is a physical form, but, you know, we've kind of been tricked into this compromising situation of money being something that's just zeros and ones on a computer screen in a way, and that's kind of how it travels around the world and how it gets used. And then we're kind of handed something else. It's almost like keeping that like, because he's holding it back. It's not like he's holding it out to give, and he's not even got a coin in his hand here either. It's almost like trying to what's the word, trying to trick, possibly an energy, a trickery here, trick of the light even, kind of like, you know, like that, what's the left hand doing, like look over here, don't look over there kind of thing. And I spoke about that in my astrology reading, strangely enough, as well. And that's kind of how I'm seeing that. It's like all of the real wealth, if you like, the real wealth here is being kept behind him. It's like he's not giving it away. He's giving away something that doesn't even have much to do with wealth itself. So as I was saying, the King of Coins here, again, that kind of very physical realm, money, finances, somebody who's very successful. The King of Coins has reached a point of being very good at what they do. They've learnt their skill, they've learnt their art, they know how to make money work for them. They have that ability to make this into a lot more. So it goes from the one to being a lot more of it. They know how to play with it as well, which could also be this energy down here, because this can be a playful energy, but it's also, there's a trickster energy about this card. So we then move into the Three of Cups, which again, we have these 3 cups down here, which are kind of being ignored because this is kind of catching his eye and his attention down there. And the Three of Cups is often spoken about as being something that's reconciliation, like bringing something back together. Again, water energy, which can relate to intuition, understanding intuitively. It can also, the Three of Cups can also be a time when we have to make a decision as to whether or not we're going to continue with something or whether we're going to let something go. Again, I'm getting this kind of up here with all these masks. There's kind of this kind of trickery, this kind of like falseness, if you like, something not real, not seeing the real thing. Yeah, just a lot of what's the and it could be also, you know, about being careful about how people present themselves. And not showing the real faces, what we actually see, or what we see isn't necessarily actually what's behind the mask. again, it's that sense with these peacock feathers of kind of like, you know, very flashy and very kind of like catches the eye, but there's a fakery about it. There's something fake about it, something not real about it. It's all a bit of an illusion, is what's coming through there. And then we have our hopes and our fears, and again we have the coins energy, Pentacles, earth energy, 2 of coins here. Again, bringing things into balance. It's taking the ace of coins and actually bringing it into the real world, if you like. It's taking the energy of the ace, because the aces always come in as an energy, and they need to be channeled into something in order for them to kind of grow and multiply and like become masters of that domain, to become successful business wise, or however you see success, because success doesn't necessarily have to be just through the amount of wealth that we have. It can also be to do with our character and our personality and our, you know, our success in raising a family, in writing a book, or however success is. But there is always this element of having to bring it into the real world. And the coins relates to that physical material domain of the real world. So with the 2, there is this sense of kind of, it's almost like I see it almost like he's bringing it down into that physical reality, or us bringing it down into that physical reality of creation. And again, there's a feeling of like, you know, there's a sun, almost like this sunburst here as well, and he's all lit up as well, all the way around him. It's almost like, you know, that waiting for that new energy as the sun moves into Aries and leaves behind the last astrological year. And we have the final card here, the Star, in reverse as well. So the Star is often about our hopes, our dreams, our kind of connection to things, our connection to a bigger destiny. But it is, again, it's in reverse. And it's reminding me of this 9 of Wands here as well, in the sense of kind of giving up on something. Giving up on hope. Also a sense of draining. Draining, because all this kind of, the Star is pouring out all this rainbow coloured water. So it feels like draining. It's kind of not getting to where it's meant to go, if you like. It's kind of missing its direction. We're missing direction. We're kind of not feeling as though we're you know, that things are coming together. It doesn't feel like things are changing or shifting, or it is a very Aquarius energy. And we do have Saturn in Aquarius at this time, which is very restrictive. And we're kind of trying to push beyond that. That energy of kind of stagnation as well, of kind of staying in the same place with nothing changing, nothing moving forward. It's like we don't feel as though we're seeing any change, any differences at this time. Things just seem to be the same old, same old. And then we have the High Priestess, the Queen of Cups again, and the Eight of Wands all in reverse. So this is saying to me there's a real lack of trusting our intuition, trusting what we're hearing. With the Eight of Wands, messages coming in, but they're not coming in directly. They're kind of misfiring or not, and kind of a lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstandings. The Queen of Cups is in reverse again, so again kind of holding back on our emotions, keeping ourselves to ourselves, not giving much away. High Priestess is pretty much the same as well. She's very watery, she's very Piscean energy. So there's a lot of it feels like lack. Which is over the top of this energy here. This kind of need to push through and push beyond. And yet we're not trusting our inner knowledge and our inner wisdom and our own understanding. It's like looking beyond for outside sources, outside media, messages, news. And again, because it's in reverse, it's kind of saying we can't trust it. This is all actually about mistrust. All of this energy is mistrust. And it's all very feminine energy as well. It's all very, yeah, intuitive, feminine. Listening to our inner knowing. And yet we don't necessarily know how to do that even at this time. A lot of lies, a lot of deception. High Priestess could be seen literally as the Neptunian energy, really, the energy of Neptune. Sorry about that glare, that's so bright. Very mysterious, very unknown, very... It is the veil, really, between what is real and what isn't real. The High Priestess. kind of watery, subconscious. And we have the Two of Cups that has come out over the top of this Ace of Pentacles, which is this sense of Mars and Venus coming together, and again to do with our self-worth, our value. It's saying to me that there is a kind of awareness that's growing about our value and our relationships. The Two of Cups is about relationships that we make with others, and we are looking for stability within these relationships, things that can grow and become more for those who are seeking relationships. There is a lot, like with Mars and Venus, that have been together since they were in Capricorn. They're now moving together through Aquarius, and they're going to stay together right the way up until they get to Pisces, which is when they will finally separate and Venus will pull away from Mars. But there's this kind of sense of strengthening, how can you put it? Our own, like within us, our masculine and our feminine, we all have both within us. And so it feels like becoming a lot more independent in a way as well. And not so traditional, not so having to have those traditional kind of male-female relationships. Or fitting into those roles of the masculine and the feminine. Because it's interesting, it's like with this Queen of Cups here as well, this kind of deception of love and how love has been, which is kind of coming through with this very kind of base, lustful, desiring kind of energy as well, that trickster energy, where this is more kind of heart-based energy. It's a meeting of heart and mind and soul, and recognition of each other's abilities, recognition of what we've been through separately, and coming together to join. It's like joining our skill set in a way. Joining of our skill set is going to allow us to recognize who we are through each other, is what I'm getting there as well. Because we've also got here, we've got the Caduceus which also kind of represents the DNA. So when two people come together, it is that joining of like history in a way as well. It's like bringing together history and also ancestry as well, because we bring our stories into the picture. So there's a sense of also wanting something that's real here, wanting some reality, wanting something that is solid, based on building a solid foundation. And over the top of this Queen of Cups, we've got the Nine of Cups as well. So again, more water energy, more of that Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer energy. The 9 is about fulfillment, wish fulfillment, although it's not the 10, so there's still more to come. But it is a recognition of having got to a certain point of happiness, because each of those cups kind of represents an emotional growth, an emotional achievement. But he is sitting there very much on his own. Sorry about the glare. He's sitting there on his own. It's not like there's anybody else there in this picture with him. But again, that curtain behind there as well, for me, is kind of what's hiding behind that curtain. What is he almost in a way protecting there as well? He's got his arms crossed. Although they are crossed quite loosely, it's not like they're really tightly crossed, but there's something quite, again, theatrical about all of this. And it's over the top of this Queen of Cups, which for me is that energy at the moment of mistrusting. And there's something about this as well, like with the yellow brick road at the bottom as well. The yellow brick road being kind of that Wizard of Oz hiding behind the curtain, and it's all very not what it seems, not what it appears. Kind of energy there. But that's what's moving away. There's a sense here somehow that he's going to kind of leap up and kind of go ta-da kind of thing, and like, let's say, you know, you've been fooling yourselves all this time. I don't know where that's coming from or why that's coming in like that, but it is. There's this sense of kind of, there is more to this than meets the eye. The wizard behind the curtain. More yet to be revealed, but that is the energy that's passing away, and the energy that we have moving, or sorry, the energy that we have in our subconscious, along with this Page of Wands, who's a little bit kind of immature, like I was saying, can be anger, can be frustration, can be a sense of kind of like, it's very childlike, very playful, but also quite mischievous, quite kind of like, yeah, trickster energy. But it's come out with the Death card as well. In reverse. In the subconscious. So again, there is something that is not being completely revealed at this time. The Death card, transformation. We are going through mass transformation at the moment. There is evolutionary change happening at the moment as well. Everything's shifting, changing. Yeah, it's literally a skeleton here riding on the horse. And again, I mean, it's Pluto energy, and there is so much of this energy around us at this time, so much of this Pluto death energy that is yet to be seen, yet to be understood, yet to be revealed. In the sense of what's happened over the last 2 years. And also where they're kind of trying to lead us at this time as well. Again, I talk a bit more about that in the astrology. Where they're trying to take us, where they're trying to lead us into this path of kind of annihilation, destruction. Pluto is destruction and creation. And again, you know, there is this kind of obsession with this energy at this time. It is also an obsessive energy. And this feels kind of like Pluto Mars-like, in fact. Very kind of warlike, very volatile, eruptive. It's interesting as well because the white rose on the black background kind of symbolizes purity as well. So it's also, in a sense, kind of rebirth out of the dark and into the light. And that can happen like on a physical level, like actually leaving the physical domain and moving on into another realm of existence. Or it can happen in the sense of us kind of coming out of our, or like shedding our skin in a way, like the snake does. Like, you know, that many different kind of lifetimes in one lifetime we experience these different growths, spiritual growth, that can take us into another, completely like another evolved state of being. So there's many elements to the Death card itself. And then over the top of this 6 of coins, we have the World card in reverse. So the world is literally endings and beginnings. and its completions, cycles ending, which we are experiencing at this time anyway, with the the sun moving into Aries. That is that complete completion, and again I talk about that in my astrology reading, again literally how that kind of represents the world card, and the egg as well, the cosmic egg, and this is known as the Ouroboros, which is like the snake or the dragon energy, which represents the spirit, if you like. It represents our spiritual, eternal cycles. And what's interesting with this card as well is it also has all the 4 fixed signs in it. So it is connected to the fixed energies. But things do change. That's another thing about it as well. It's kind of saying, you know, that nothing can remain stagnant, nothing can stay the way that it always has been, and that there is going to be change. There is a completion coming, there is change coming, there is an ending coming, and it is, I feel, to do with this financial system at this time, which is again like, you know, being kept hidden, being kept kind of in the background, and this idea of compromise, of give and take, of fair markets, if you like, is all an illusion, because what we're given and what we're offered is completely different to what we should be receiving. But there is this change. It's not going to be easy though, which is why it's in reverse as well, because it's happening, but we haven't actually reached that stage, and this is coming in the future as well. This is the future energy that we're going to move into, this completion of this cycle. And of course we are in a completion of a cycle anyway, because we're moving out the Piscean energy, which could also be represented by this Queen of Cups energy over here, the kind of deceptive, mysterious, illusionary, and I want to say woo energy, just because I think that is very apt for Piscean energy. There's something very woo about it. There's something very kind of like, it works on a different level, shall we say. It's kind of more hypnotic, hypnosis, mind manipulation kind of energy, the Piscean time that we've been through, and we're moving into this Aquarian energy here, this star energy, but it's taking us a time to get there. It's taking time to shift into that energy. So we're having to kind of go through these different stages of breakdown and breakthrough, which could also be this transformative energy down here. Oh, and as I say that, literally, we have the Tower card, which I didn't realise had come out at all. I only just saw that as I looked down. And the Tower card is over the top of this King of Coins energy. And again, I feel as though it is to do with the physical realm. It is to do with the financial realm. It is to do with our monetary system. And just the way that we know our material world to be. It's like the Tower is breaking down and breaking through we have to go through these different cycles of awakening, if you like, which is the Tower energy. It's being struck by lightning. It's kind of like breaking down all of this structure in order for new ideas to be able to come through. Because if you're so closed off, if we're so closed off and caught up in like this is how it is, this is how it's always been, which is very much this King of Coins energy as well. There can be that sense of like almost like expert energy, and I don't like using the word expert. It's not one of my favourite words at all, but there is that kind of like, you know, you don't question an expert because they're an expert, so therefore, you know, you just accept that that's how things are, and that's how they've always been, and that's how it will always be. But the Tower energy, which is coming in at this time, it's a very Uranus energy. It's very Uranus in Taurus energy. In fact, it is that very volatile change, chaos. Out of chaos comes some kind of new new paradigm. But we have to go through the breakdown in order to get rid of all of the structures, establishment, right across the board as well. But with the Knight of Pentacles here, I mean, that is stability. That is that kind of like hanging on to how it's been, because the Knight of Pentacles is somebody who's very loyal, very determined, very slow moving. They have a what's the word? It's like once they set out to get to their destination, they're not going to stop until they get there. No matter what battles they have to go through and how exhausted they may get on the journey, they do not give up. The Knight of Pentacles, and that's kind of what it's saying to me here, is that there is this hanging on to the old energy, keeping things stable the way that we've always known them, because the unknown, if you like, is the, you know, the unknown is a difficult place to be. People don't like the unknown. People like to know what's coming next. Even on some level, if it's not what they're really hoping for or wishing for, with this Queen of Cups in reverse as well. But somehow it's easier to just accept it. Easier to accept it if it, you know, if you can just stick with what you do know, even if it's stopping the growth, stopping you from moving forward, stopping you from actually getting to where you want to be or where we need to be in order for the change, the growth to occur here. So the Three of Cups, we have Judgment and Justice together. I think they may have come out previously together as well. This is a big energy of, and it's in, they're both in reverse again as well. So there is this sense of ignoring the truth and sticking with the kind of the fakery, if you like, And not just the fakery, but also the pleasurable. Is what's coming through there as well. This sense of, oh, well, it's pleasurable. It doesn't matter if it is fake. And that's kind of what I'm getting with this as well, with this 8 of Wands in reverse, like the fake messages, the fake news, the fake communication. But judgment and justice in reverse. Yeah, ignoring the truth, ignoring what's actually happening, what's actually taking place kind of behind the scenes, if you like, behind the veil, behind the illusion. Not wanting to see it, not wanting to accept it. Judgment, justice. I mean, when these two cards come out together, especially in reverse, it is like a major call from the universe. Like a major wake-up call, really, from the universe. Because justice is karmic as well. It's universal karmic justice, and it's in reverse. And it's kind of saying, like, you know, if you don't wake up and take notice, and if you keep just listening to what's not real and what you can see in front of you and still not see through it, then you're in for a major, major shock. A major shock. So let's see what the Two of Coins in our hopes and fears is wanting us to know. Page of Pentacles. It's very, very much about the physical domain, this reading. Very much about the actual tangible side of life. This can also relate to our well-being, our ability to look after ourselves in a sense, because, you know, finances, money, what we do with it, how we balance our lives with it. And the Page of Pentacles here in reverse as well is kind of saying to me that it can also be a sense of what am I getting? Like a sense of not, again, immaturity. I mean, when the pages come out in reverse, they're an immature energy anyway. They're a young energy. They're an energy that needs to be nurtured. This could also be about children. All the pages can be about children. Because they are that young energy, but when they're in reverse, it's almost like a sense of even more immaturity there, even more a sense of not wanting to grow up, sense of not wanting to take responsibility, particularly with the Page of Pentacles. Again, that earth energy, which is about responsibility, or learning about responsibility, learning to grow up and take care of ourselves. And so this is in our hopes and our fears. But I'm also getting with this page as well this sense of kind of loss of something. And again, the pages can also be innocence as well. And the Page of Pentacles also, with that Ace of Coins there, it's like very similar energy here as well, of this coin of growing something, planting it, of planting seeds for the future. So in reverse it can also talk about feeling like there's, it is just hopes and fears, but it could feel as though, you know, what is the point? Why should I put any energy or effort or anything of myself into anything? Because I don't really reap the rewards. All I do is end up spending my time kind of juggling between things, kind of make ends meet kind of energy possibly as well here. Of being compromised all the time. And with the star there as well, like in reverse, that feeling of like losing our hopes and our dreams, our wishes. Our connection to something bigger. Even on some level, like being able to dream a dream in some ways, because there can be this kind of sense of this kind of despondency of what is the point? What is the point of putting time and energy and effort into anything when I'd never get more than? And we have the Hierophant over the top of the star here, which is interesting because they're both kind of based on faith as well. The star can also be about faith, but the Hierophant is also the, pardon me, sorry, the it's very traditional energy. I'm reluctant to say religious energy, but it is very that kind of how can you put it? Established energy of religion, as in this is, you know, you follow a certain ideal. This can also be to do with responsibility, the Hierophant. It can also be to do with commitment as well. And faith and trust. A lot of people put the Hierophant in the Taurus bracket, and I'm never convinced personally about that. But the Hierophant is very down to earth, grounded kind of energy. Whereas the Star, being the Aquarius energy, is much more kind of the higher conscious mind energy coming in. So this could actually be like that Saturn energy that I was talking about earlier, because it is very that heavy, grounded, kind of traditional. You have to kind of follow a certain idea or ideal. Whereas this is much more free thinking. This is much more, yeah, traditional, for want of another word. Traditional, like following the rules, doing things the way that they've always been done. But there can be comfort within this energy as well, for that sense, for that reason. The Star kind of, for me, is our own personal connection to the bigger picture, to the universe, our own way of connecting. Whereas the Hierophant is very much that kind of patriarchal idea of how you kind of stick to a traditional idea of something. And again, it is that kind of earth energy in that sense. The Hierophant is the opposite of the High Priestess as well. But the Hierophant can also be what am I getting here? It's like it is like indoctrination. That's the word. It's like indoctrination. Whereas this is much more, like I was saying, the free thinker. This is indoctrinated energy. So to have the two come out together and to have this over the top, and the fact that this is upright as well, it kind of says to me that at this time we're still kind of stuck in this 3D physical idea, 3D way of doing things, 3D indoctrinated view of the world. This energy is yet to break through, yet to kind of come into its own, shall we say, with people being much more like, it's almost like, you know, the more free thinking you want to be, the more the establishment indoctrination is going to kind of come down on that energy. At this time. And some people, like I was saying, for some people the Hierophant is comfort. For some people, you know, they need that stable source. Again, you can see the similarities here with the two towers, with the High Priestess sitting between, and then you've got the same thing here with the Hierophant. So it is that masculine and feminine intuitive side here of listening to your own understanding and wisdom, ancient wisdom. Here the High Priestess shows us and tells us, teaches us the inner knowledge, the inner wisdom. When we go within, that's what we will find. Whereas this is much more the written word, the established ideas. And there could be literally this kind of battle between these two at this time as well. Really going to kind of become much more pronounced. So I'm going to finish it off with a Lovers card. Well, actually the Lovers card, and then I'm going to do some reflection cards as well to see what the bigger story is here. That's really interesting because it says, deep in your heart you already know the answer. Do what feels right. There's lots of butterflies around her as well. Butterflies are all about transformative energy. So this is that High Priestess energy and this Queen of Cups energy that I was talking about, and this kind of not listening, these outside messages. That are false news, false yeah, just false stories, narratives. So yeah, this is very much that more intuitive. It's even got a little, yeah, like, see there, and there's that flame. That little white patch there is actually like a little flame that is just lit. It's kind of that third eye showing up there, which also kind of represents this energy here as well, because here the crown is kind of being blown off the top of the tower. The lightning is hitting that point. It's like awakening to something. So we're being asked to know within our heart what the answer is and to do what feels right. We already know, we already have the answer. These are getting a little bit difficult to shuffle. Let's just see what, give them a quick flick here. Did not work very well either. Come on, cards. So, last messages for this full moon in Virgo over the next 2 weeks energy, from now until April the 1st. And we have our new moon in the next 2 weeks. We have planets and stars do not stay the same. Planets change and move. Energies shift. You are living in extraordinary times. Very, very true. Even if we don't know it as such yet. So when you find true love, this is but a reflection of the love and fulfillment that you will find when you eventually return to the source. And maybe that's also what this is about as well. I was saying something about like being hidden, what's behind that curtain. Because we believe that that is our wish fulfillment and our happiness. But really our wish fulfillment and our happiness is knowing ourselves and returning to source through knowing ourselves and knowing that we are and always have been a part of that source energy and always will be. So one more. Anything else? Oops, no. Oh, okay, those two. I thought there was a lot more than that. So you are and have always been a part of the greater light, the greater energy. There we go. Thank you, Source, confirming that one. And follow your intuition, for you know what you must do and when you must do it. So again, more confirmation. And so I'm going to finish that reading, finish the reading there, and say thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope that it has been of some benefit, or that you've enjoyed listening to my reading and have got something from it in general. If you have, please could you thumbs it up for me, just give me a like, because it really does help to let the YouTube platform know that people are listening to my readings and that they are interested in what I have to say. There's also a subscription button on my channel as well, or on the video should I say, that I'm going to be putting out. So if you want to know and get my videos as and when I put them out, then just tap that little bell and subscribe to my channel, and I would love to have you here as a part of this this growing movement of people coming together, really, because that's really what this is all about, this Aquarian age. It's all about people coming together, kind of meeting of minds and tribal energy, and seeing like I was saying with this Two of Cups, you know, seeing each other's abilities and recognizing each other's abilities. That's kind of where I feel that we're heading, much more so. So yeah, before I forget, thank you very much to those of you who have liked my videos, and thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed to my channel. I really do appreciate it, and I really do appreciate you being here and listening to what I have to say. And on that note, I am going to finish, because it's almost an hour and a half now, so I really want to get this up and done. So enjoy the rest of this full moon energy in Virgo that's going to continue over these next 2 weeks. And also, if you want to comment, leave me a comment down below, please. That would be lovely, because it's just really nice getting feedback from people, and just let me know how you feel about the readings, whether you like it or whether you don't like it. Just give me a comment to let me know that you're out there. And hopefully I will see you again in 2 weeks' time for the new moon in Aries. And in the meantime, please take really good care of yourselves and anybody else around you who you can.